We begin tonight at 6 with Indiana Democrats in Chicago right now. They are meeting with Democrats from Texas who left their state to block a vote on new congressional maps.
And this has made redistricting a hot topic all across the country. And even the vice president floated the idea of it happening here when he visited our city last week. Tonight, our State House reporter Emily Longnecker joins us live from Chicago after she caught up with the Democrats there. Emily, really interesting. Tell us about this dialogue today.
Yeah, and Scott, quite a dialogue here in this park on Chicago's west side. We heard from Hoosier Democrats and Texas Democrats, and both said that they believe that they are in a fight for democracy. Hoosier Democrats saying that they believe that their Texas counterparts are on the front line of that fight, and they came here to Chicago today to show their support from them and also express concern that Indiana could face a similar situation if Governor Braun calls a special session and lawmakers agree to it. That hasn't happened yet, even after Vice President J.D. Vance's trip to Indianapolis last week to meet with Governor Braun and other Republican leaders. Hoosier Democrats still concerned it might happen.
Let me remind you that not one Republican legislator in the state of Indiana was calling for a special session before this guy showed up from Washington with his shoplifting strategy, okay? Not one. There was no conversation.
But right now, the conversation seems to be a non-starter for several Republican lawmakers who have been recently posting on social media and issuing statements saying that they are not interested in redrawing Indiana's congressional maps right now. Texas Democrats here today thanking Hoosier Democrats for making the trip to show their support, and everyone here saying today that they are really concerned that if Texas Republicans would be successful in redrawing the maps there, that we would see kind of a domino effect of then blue states making moves to redraw their congressional districts to kind of make up and nullify any seats that Republicans would gain in the House. Kind of a what's good for the goose is good for the gander situation. And Democrats here today saying that none of it is good for democracy. And they hope this gathering here today and the fact that Texas Democrats are here away from their home state is igniting a national conversation about this issue of redistricting and doing it way before a census. And Scott?
All right, Emily Longnecker reporting live tonight on some of the strategies that are going on politically, not only here, but across the country. Thanks so much. Well, tonight, more chaos here in Indianapolis within the City County Council.
Councilor Michael Paul Hart confirms tonight to 13 News that he's out as the council's minority leader, marking a big change for Republicans. Hart told us he got a heads up last weekend about the potential for a leadership change, but did not expect to vote Monday.
Telling 13 News the Republican caucus thought that he was moving, quote, too fast. Hart believes the change could have been made in December, like in years past, but says now he just plans to work hard for those that he was voted to represent.
Councilor Michael Paul Hart is with District 20.
You know, I told these guys when they elected me as leader the first time, I'm going to do three things. I'm going to raise money, I'm going to build a brand, and I'm going to create smart policy. And that's what we were going to do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
This is Hart's first year as minority leader.
Former minority leader Brian Mowry is now back in that role. Angela?
Scott, a warm afternoon, not too humid for most of central Indiana, and most of us have stayed dry, although a couple of showers still showing up on radar. You can see one near Cloverdale, a little bit of rain south of Terre Haute. We also have a little bit of rain just south of Greensburg. This is the type of activity we will see mainly I-70 south over the next couple of hours. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds, mainly sunny Bunker Hill, 86, 86 Morse Reservoir, 82 Bainbridge, and 87 degrees in Brown County at this hour. So you guessed it, we'll stay in the 80s through sunset this evening. Temperatures overnight in the upper 60s and low 70s, so a relatively comfortable start tomorrow morning. If you're headed to the State Fair, lots of sunshine tomorrow and really not too hot, not too humid. We're getting a bit of a break tomorrow with high temperatures in the middle and upper 80s. Now, the 7-day forecast has a lot of heat in it. I'm going to get you ready for the next heat wave in a few minutes.
He was talking to what he believed to be a 14-year-old boy on Grindr. He sent multiple pictures.
Tonight at 6 with a video catching a lot of attention online, including from IMPD. This kind of video is becoming more common online.
It's from vigilante groups confronting potential child predators who think that they're talking with underage victims. As our Ashton Hackman now explains, one catch in Indianapolis last month is now raising questions of whether or not these cases will, in fact, hold up in court.
We're gonna talk to 14-year-old boys like this anymore?
The video is making rounds on social media.
He was talking to what he believed to be a 14-year-old boy on Grindr.
Texas-based YouTuber Gideon Adams confronting a youth volleyball coach in Indianapolis. In his hand, alleged chat log receipts of the inappropriate messages. 13 News isn't showing the man's face nor naming him because he hasn't been charged.
We know we're not police officers, but we like to give this information and the evidence over to police so that way, arrests can be made.
But in this case, police signaled the case might not stick.
I have run into this before.
Yeah.
I will say our prosecutor will not touch this. So I need probable cause that a crime has been committed.
That officer's comment leading to countless comments, asking why the man wasn't arrested. IMPD is now responding, saying, quote, attempting to intervene independently or record content for social media can compromise investigations and potentially endanger those involved.
Marion County has a precedent of not taking groups like us seriously when we have arrests in the surrounding area in their vicinity.
A spokesperson for the Marion County Prosecutor's Office responded, saying, quote, we want law enforcement to investigate potential crimes of abuse and we want to prosecute them. Adding the Marion County Child Advocacy Center has always worked closely with law enforcement to consult, thoroughly review, and strengthen any case brought forward. The rise of civilian vigilante groups targeting online child predators is putting Indiana prosecutors in a tricky spot, allowing each prosecutor to decide.
We have a task force, the Indiana Crimes Against Children Task Force, who do this full time, and they're much more effective than vigilantes are.
No charges so far for this predator catch in Indianapolis. Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Again, Adams is a YouTuber that's based out of Texas, and he told us that he handed over his evidence to police. IMPD says that a report was filed in this particular case, and detectives were notified.
Murder charges have once again been dropped against a man who's accused of a cold case murder in Kokomo.
Not only are the charges dropped, but prosecutors are not going to be able to refile them. Kevin Maddox was accused of killing Chad Rouse in 2006. Maddox first charged with that murder 2 years ago. Then this past April, the Howard County prosecutor dropped those charges, citing staffing shortages. And then in May, the prosecutor's office stepped in and refiled the charges.
Now the prosecutor has dropped the charges again, this time right after the trial started, meaning he cannot go to trial again for Rouse's murder. The prosecutor's office said in a statement, charges were dropped to ensure every charge is fully supported.
Churches in Columbus, Indiana now are stepping in. They want to offer to provide spiritual services to eventual detainees sent to Camp Atterbury in southern Indiana.
The Hoosier base has been selected by ICE as a potential detention center for illegal immigrants. Tonight, our Jenny Runovich shows us what pastors hope to do there.
Well, these are churches that took action when Camp Atterbury hosted Afghan refugees several years ago, and now they want to be involved again.
Pastors at 3 Columbus churches, First United Methodist, St. Bartholomew Catholic Church, and First Presbyterian, hand-delivered a letter to leadership at Camp Atterbury last week. They're asking to offer spiritual and emotional support to potential ICE detainees. So far, no response from Atterbury, but pastors are hopeful. Back in 2021, these same churches helped relocate Afghan refugees in Indiana after being housed on the base. Pastors say both scenarios require the human need for faith and emotional care.
Just because somebody's in a detainment facility doesn't mean that they're going to be treated inhumanely. And so we are trying to make sure that if this comes to town and if there are going to be detainees there, that they are treated humanely. And part of being treated humanely means access to people who can be supportive and encouraging to them.
The churches are also helping to host a rally on August 23rd at Columbus City Hall. We have more information for you at WTHR.com. In Columbus, Jenny Runovich, 13 News.
I would recommend finding somebody to partner up with if you're going to go through this weight loss journey.
It certainly is not easy to lose weight, but both of these women lost 100 pounds each. Still ahead at 6:15, how accountability and support is helping them keep that weight off. Angela.
Anne-Marie, so far we've had 24 days in the 90s, and there are more 90s in the 7-day forecast.
And tonight we're getting our first look at new improvements at Washington Park on the near northeast side of Indianapolis. We'll show it to you next.